good sitting those first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter every night now?
That's great. It's great. I thought they were going to run the table there. But, yeah, those guys, they got us a lead. They played really well to start the fourth. And, ultimately that was the difference in the game. It was back and forth a little bit there. And they were able to get us some separation. So that lineup, was a big reason why we won the game.
What did you like about the ways that you guys were able to establish yourselves early?
I thought we were just sharp and, assertive. And I think, our first quarter was our best defensive quarter, obviously. They scored 30, I think, apiece after that. So it was a little tough. But, I thought we just came out with a good focus and intensity. And, we got to find ways to increase that consistently throughout the game. But for the most part, I thought we were, pretty sharp and pretty together tonight.
Scottie's had some big fourth quarters recently. What does it say about a player like that, especially at his age, to be at his best later in games?
He's a good player. I think he's finding a pace and a rhythm and just finding his spots and, not checking out when, he's got the dry spells and just finding ways to be assertive. So he's kind of calculating and seeing, where he can attack. And we know that that's an option we can always go to. And, coaches tonight, gave him the lineup there in the fourth. And he was able to capitalize and run the show. And he's continued to grow as a player. And sky's the limit, obviously.
What does Precious bring to that first unit from a defensive standpoint?
Just defensive rebounding. He can guard 1 through 5, being able to switch on the guards, being able to rebound with the bigs. I think it's just a big force for us. And when he plays with that intensity and, that effort on the defensive end, he's probably one of the best defenders in the league when he's engaged and locked in and playing fast and strong. So that's an incredible, asset to have on the defensive end.
You had 2 steals tonight, could have been 6 or 7 deflections. What allows you to really get in the gaps and stunt and tag and really muck up guys' offense on the other end?
I think just knowing tendencies and also reading the game plan and knowing what they want to do. So, there's not many times where I don't know what, the other team's going to do, just being in the right spots. And depending on the team, I can provide more help depending on who I'm matched up on, or less help if I got to stay home on shooters. But when I'm roaming and being able to just be there as a help guy, attack the ball, just try to be disruptive and cause deflections and change the rhythm of the game. So tonight was able to do that a little bit.
Is that your favorite way of playing defense? Is that like free safety?
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit easier that way. Just being able to roam around and, attack the ball and play for steals and deflections and just help my teammates. We got a lot of good individual defenders. Obviously, the league is, built for scoring now, so you need those second and third guys to be able to come over and help. And that's one thing I like to do is be able to dig and, cause problems off the ball.
Fred, you got a big road trip coming up, and you guys won't be back here until I think February 8th or so. I guess what are you guys looking to stress in terms of team identity over that road trip?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us to grow and get better and come together as a group and see what we got. I think going on the road for that long is a good time to bond and get closer and one way or another, lock in and go out there and get some wins. I think it's a great chance to grow and get better as a group. And, you got to see those opportunities as challenges, and any challenge presents a great opportunity. So I'm excited about it, and I think that our group is trending in the right direction. We're getting closer and closer, and we've been playing some pretty good basketball as of late. We just got to, translate it into wins, and, I think we will.
Fred, Nick was saying that you hurt your ribs in the Atlanta game, and I was just wondering when exactly that happened and how you're feeling now.
I'm good.
You guys went up by as much as 17, and the Knicks stormed back. Past couple of games, giving up big leads. Like, what's sort of the mindset, especially as a leader, that you try to have with the team to sort of get you guys back and steady and get a win?
Yeah, I think you can't really concentrate on the leads. It's the NBA. I think if you watch enough games, you'll understand. It's up and down, and it's hard to play with the league in this league. But I think just closing the games, we can do that a little bit better. And you certainly don't want to be on the wrong end of that run to end the game, like we were in Minnesota. But we've been playing pretty good basketball. Not great, and definitely, not championship caliber by any stretches. But we're getting better, and we got to continue to grow as a group, stay positive, and just be optimistic going forward. I think we're in good shape. We just got to get something going here a little bit. We put something together, we'll be all right.
Nick said in the fourth, when you guys weren't able to get out in transition, you really showed some progress sort of organizing everybody and getting people into their spots in the offense. Is that something that's coming easier to you with time?
I don't say it's coming easier to me with time. I think I've always been able to do that. Just found something and stuck with it, and it was just working. So why not go back to it? I think that's just being smart and having basketball IQ. You see something work, just keep attacking it and keep doing the same thing.
What do you think of that group that finished the 9 minutes of the fourth there?
That was a solid group. I felt like it was all just trying to play hard, trying to get stops. Was communicating pretty good in the zone that we were running. And then we was just going on the other end, and everybody was doing what they needed to do. So it worked out for us pretty good.
Is it a little easier when they're just really two sort of, like, it was just you and Gary were kind of running the offense mostly, and then the other three were just sort of filling the gaps? And is it easier that way? I mean, than, playing sometimes with all five starters?
No, I wouldn't say that. It wasn't really just filling in the role. I felt like everybody was doing a really big part. Pressures were setting great screens, rolling to the basket. Told Juancho, like, come on, let's pick it up. But Juancho, they was doing solid. I wouldn't say it was easier, but everybody just did what they had to do in that moment.
That touchdown pass to Gary, did you think Fournier was going to be able to get to it at the end?
No. I saw him all the way on the left side, and he was running back, so I just threw it full speed, and he caught the ball. He went out to play, and my boy Gary got on the rim. He's been looking real athletic lately.
Scottie, the last time you guys played the Knicks, you had that moment with Grimes there where you guys were kind of jawing back and forth. What have you learned in your first little bit in the NBA about kind of just, a bit of trash talk and, back and forth? What have you learned about what you're able to do and how you're able to use that, I guess, mental side of the game?
I think me growing up, I always start talking trash. If you go look at me in high school and middle school, if you go pull up those clips, you'll see me always talking trash. I was always that kid that just talk trash. It's just, I feel like a lot of people like it. In the NBA, you don't really have that much, but it's just when you're in that moment, it's just you make a good play, it just automatically happens sometimes. But I started that. I've been always talking trash, but it's not too much. I don't talk too much trash. It's just when I see like friendly battles or little battles, I get overhyped sometimes, and I just can't help myself to talk a little bit of trash. But I don't talk crazy amount of trash, so that was nothing. That was.
Is there anyone you won't do it with?
No, I do anybody. It just depends on the moments.
You and Precious are both really diverse players. You can fill basically any role, 1-5 on the other end. Is it really fun playing with a guy that shares that similar spirit as you?
Yeah, for sure. Precious, he's a hard-working player. He knows how to play the game. He was big for us tonight. Rebounding the ball, playing defense. He was communicating. He was a big part of what we did tonight.
And it can get really chaotic when he's playing. In a good way. And you and him in particular, seem to thrive in that chaos. Broken plays, things like that. Is there a special joy to sort of outthinking people when the game's crazy like that?
I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question. We just try to go along with the game, just trying to play the game the right way, trying to get stops. I feel like a lot of what we try to do on defensively is just try to disrupt other teams' offense, not allow them to try to get to their spots. So I feel like that's why I probably look chaotic sometimes. But that's just how we play, I feel like, on the defensive end.
Feels like you guys were able to sort of slow down Randall later in the game. What are you guys trying to focus on, especially how unique of a player he is?
Just guarding the ball, not allowing him to just get those easy looks, trying to be physical without fouling, boxing him out. He was crashing on glass pretty hard today. So it was just like things like that, just trying to take away his looks and keep him off the glass.
To stretch or bring multiple stretches together of good performances?
Yeah, it definitely feels good. Finally, a game goes our way. Obviously, I feel like we've been close a lot of games and losing, so it feels good to put a complete effort and get a reward for it.
guys come into the game and kind of initiate more energy, be a spark off the bench, but how do you adjust your own performance when, either Scottie's being more of a playmaker or Fred's being more of a playmaker? As we saw, Fred start the game off strong, and then Scottie can really close it out strong as well.
Just staying with the game. Obviously, I feel like a lot of the ball bounced away from me a bunch of time, and just unlucky plays and team going on runs. So you just gotta stay focused. Obviously, we got great players on this team, and I'm trying to find my role in between all these guys. So definitely felt good to get a game like that where I know what I could do and get the ball to bounce a little bit back on my side.
When you say that you know what you can do, what is that exactly? What do you prefer out there?
Bring the energy, play hard, get rebounds. Just be disruptive a little bit. Put a little bit of chaos in the game, and I usually be able to do that. But lately I've been, a little bit on and off. So just being able to do two halves and not just being one half and give another shitty half. So.
2 starts now, unfortunately due to injury reasons, but so far Nick Nurse did say that it could be a possibility that we see you in the starting lineup even with a full healthy team. How does it feel to start the game opposed to coming off the bench? What's the difference for you?
No difference. Just going out there playing basketball, playing the right way. That's all that is for me.
It's all it is for you. Okay.
Yes.
And then obviously OG was out, and Coach kind of talked about this. OG has that defensive reputation, of course. It feels like you're definitely building one. What is the main priority when you are focusing on defense? You had 2 steals in tonight's game.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, be like OG out there. Just hold it down till he get back. Like you say, he has that big defensive reputation. So I'm trying to get in my Eagles and stuff like that. And yeah, so just hold it down till he gets back.
And then in terms of what you've seen from today's game, Pascal talked about it before. You guys could have great stretches, but it's hard to almost put it together to get the win. How were you guys able to kind of take all the good stretches in tonight's game and really just come out with it?
I mean, just playing hard. We played hard yesterday. We played hard today. We play hard every day. It's gonna be really tough to beat us. We had our best when we played hard. So we just continue playing the same way and playing the right way, playing hard basketball. I think we'll be just fine.
In the fourth there, usually when it's Pascal and Fred time, how nice was it to get a group that not only helped serve but sort of pushed things beyond that?
Yeah, it was great. I think that was a long stretch for those guys. And I think they were working really hard. We're playing zone most of the quarter, but they were really working hard to figure out all the different formations that were coming at them. Did a great job on the glass at both ends. Really, lots of offensive rebounds. Really, no offensive rebounds for them. And then I thought they really were in a good groove. Gary was providing offense. Scottie was providing offense like those 2 guys should. And Chris and Precious were kind of cleaning up, any misses. So it was a heck of a long stretch for those guys. Good.
You weren't out in transition. It seemed like Scottie was either dissecting the defense or sort of using his brute force, kind of. Was that the mix that you look for from him sometimes?
Well, what I thought was he did a lot more, quicker decision making. Even when we threw him on the post there a couple times in a row, he just caught it and spun to the, made it and dumped it off, quickly. I think that playing, once he catches it, on the catch or just after the catch a little bit, obviously should give you a little more space to play in and not such a loaded up defense, right? So I think he did a good job of just making good decisions, and he really did a good job of, as he was coming up the floor and we didn't have any transition, he was directing traffic and getting guys to screen for Gary coming off, and those guys were running a little 3-man game kind of. Sometimes it was a shot and play for Gary. Sometimes Gary'd pitch it back to Scottie and he'd turn the corner going the other way. So that was good organization by him too.
Going back to that group that you started the fourth with and stayed right till 3 minutes, I guess. Was it the work on the boards that allowed you to stay with that group so long?
I think so. I think that, again, I'm just looking. I believe they had 10 offensive rebounds at halftime and ended up with 14. So that we were doing a good job of finally getting that under control. And we end up with 17 offensive rebounds, and those are at the offensive end. Those are such big important plays because they're, I call them high spirit plays. You miss a shot and you think, oh, and then all of a sudden you're sticking it back in and you're like, it just changes the feel of the whole possession, and I think energizes you for the one running back the other way, and then obviously they got to take it out. So, those guys I thought they just made really good decisions, both sides of the ball. They were flying around in the zone for the most part, and they were flying around in offense and moving it and taking what was there and cleaning up some of the misses.
His defense tonight seemed impressive. I mean, he's always good off the ball, gapping and stunting and tagging and such. But tonight on the ball, he seemed very good. Sometimes, this season he's been up and down. What can lead to inconsistency guarding the ball like that?
Well, I think that, I think it's a number of things. It's who he's playing against, right? That's one thing. Coverages, schemes, communication, some of those kind of things too, depending on, what we got going. But I agree with you. He was into the ball and guarding it good, keeping it in front, pursuing it down the lane whenever he could, and really, really decent hands. I thought he got his hands on a number of things, and I think, again, I don't know where we were at halftime. It seems like we were at about 12 turnovers at halftime. Didn't turn them over at all in the third, and then in the first 5 minutes of the third, we turned them over again. So it wasn't just him, it was Gary. Thad got his hands on a few. Precious. Those guys started, playing a little bit more with some length and some activity, hand activity for sure. But Freddie's always good at that, right?
The 10 free throw attempts is a career high for Precious. With his strength and ability to get to the rim, is that something that you can see being a bigger part of his game down the line, is getting to the free throw line more?
Yeah, he's really doing a good job of that, Josh. He's getting the step, and he's going, and he's taking it he's putting his body on people, right? He's not, he's not trying to finesse much up there, which he should. He's got a tremendous body and power and force to do that with, right? He's good that he's feeling the rhythm to do that. Need to continue to work on that. He ought to be taking those up and finishing them as well, right?
It's about only one turnover in the fourth quarter, not that many fouls given the group that you had. What did you like in the ways that they were able to still be aggressive but then stay neat as well?
Well, I think, again, it goes back to a little bit of just good organization by Scottie, right? He had the ball. He was directing traffic. Gary was coming back. They were making, good reads on that. And I think there wasn't a whole lot of I think the only tricky pass was that 74-yard touchdown pass Scottie threw. Other than that, they were just, they made the simple plays, and that's how you're going to be low turnover. Be strong with the ball, play through the physicality, make the easy plays in front of you, and I think that's what they did.